by Thomas
Hold
Jefferson.
on. It just started. I'll just cut that part out.
Start.
So, start.
Hi guys, we did our chapter presentation on the autobiography, Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson, and my group members are Alexis Judd, Ricardo Rango Tapia, and Keenan Barker. Alexis Judd is having a little bit technical problem, so she's not present. All right. The purpose of the document. The author uses catalog to create imagery and express his grievances and cruel feelings towards the King of England. He basically describes all the cruel qualities that he has against the King of England, and he wants to kick the British out of the colonies. And Thomas Jefferson provides the historical context by conveying the audience the complaints that American colonists have against the British Crown. And he posts his complaints, or so-called the grievances, that he posts on the Declaration of Independence. His point of view relates to the colonists being treated unfairly and injusticely. He basically uses propaganda on the way, using literally devices like uh, catastrophism to get the colonists on his side and unify them.
um, Thomas Jefferson considered that every person was entitled to three inalienable rights, and those rights were life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Um, every man was entitled to those rights, and um, they were not given these rights by the King of England, which is why they are stating these in the Constitution or in the Declaration of Independence.
Question number 2. What is the main idea of the main argument of the Declaration of Independence, and what are the key facts to support this main argument? The intention of the Declaration of Independence was to gain sovereignty and gaining individual rights for Great Britain. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of unremitting injuries and usurped passions, among which appears no solitary fact to contradict the uniform tenor of the rest, but all have in direct object establishment of all an absolute tyranny over these states. Basically, it was just saying that the history was unremitting injuries.
Question number 3. What changes made in the text show a desire not to make an absolute break with the English people? Why do you think it would be important that the new nation maintain its consanguinity or close kinship with the English people? The quote, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected with them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and the equal station to which the laws of nature and the nature's God entitle them. A debt respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the clauses which impel them to separation. It's important that the new nation should maintain a close kinship with the English people because they need to trade with them in order to make profit and get more supplies. So basically, the only reason they're tolerating each other is because they profit from each other, and the English, they profit them because they get natural resources from the continents, and this signifies the laws of nature and nature's God entitled them, because it's a disrespect to humankind when people like the British like imperializes the colonies, and they're showing injustice and they're treating the colonists unfairly.
All right, question number 4. A famous and controversial omission in the Declaration of Independence is a section condemning the King of England for enslaving Africans. Find the section on slave trade that was omitted. According to Jefferson, what political concerns prompted the omission of this passage? He was waged cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty and the persons of a distant people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery. So basically, Jefferson is saying is that these people they were stripped of their natural born rights because they were taken their from their home country, and they were just taken to the Americas or to many other places to serve basically as slaves, and these men were not entitled to any of the inalienable rights from birth.
Okay, so question number 5. Find at least 2 passages in the Declaration that use parallelism, which is the effect of the parallel structure on the idea of the passage. For depriving us of the beliefs of trial by jury, and for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. I thought these two were similar because they were both about being in jury and having to go through what the jury was convicting them for. The idea of parallel structure within this passage was to show that the colonists had no power. The parallel structure shows that the King of England is imperializing control over the colonies, but the colonies are fighting back. And we know this because of the war that happened before the Declaration of Independence was made.
Alright, question number 6. The Declaration opens with a rational statement of its purpose. In a document with such radical intent, it is not surprising that supporting details often use emotionally laden language. Find at least 5 details in the document that use loaded words to cite factual support. What emotions are revealed in the use of charter language? What these are some quotes we found on page 98 and page 99. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for a people to advance from the subordination in which they have hitherto remained, we hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable, self-evident, that all men are created equal and independent. Third quote, prudence indeed will dictate that government's long establishment should not be changed for light transit causes. And the last quote, such as being the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to expunge their former systems of government. The motions revealed in the following sentences are mere frustration. They are annoyed with the English constant independence as a new nation for wealth and power. So this question mostly like focuses on how they respond back to England, and they want to like end their ties with them by such as grievances stated by Thomas Jefferson. They provide all the necessary evidence against them, and they want to overthrow them.
I'm sorry, we're having technical difficulties.
Ricardo, turn your mute on.
Question number 7. I apologize. What changes seem to have been made to the Declaration for stylistic reasons such as brevity or clarity, and which changes for political reasons, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distant people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, or to incur miserable death in their transportation hither. Basically, Jefferson was saying was that many of the slaves were dying on their way here, and these people, again, were deprived of their rights and basically treated, you could say, as an animal because they were not allowed to do anything, and they were transported like herd. And many of the slaves died on their way to the New World. And that's our work cited.
And that's all we got.
So, any other comments?
That's all I have to say about this presentation.
Ricardo?
Same. No. No further comments from me.
And what about you, Mr. Keenan Barker?
Well, I have to say that upon doing this assignment, I had no idea what the word brevity meant, and upon doing this assignment, I learned what it meant.
That's all we have.
That's all. That's an awesome thing. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks for watching.
Bye.